Welcome to a black metal review with an international band. Some people might remember the Deathtrip from a few years ago when they came out with their nice debut album. It took quite a while to come to this sophomore stage, but here we have, and it's once again released through Swart Records. Now that I think of it, I'm not sure if the first one was, but I have a gut feeling it was. Anyway, this one is called Demon Solar Totem. It's a black metal release with, like I said, international status, members from various countries, and it's an interesting piece of an album, or let's say interesting piece of a band, that is, because this is not your typical band by no means. It's not no typical black metal sounding band, but it's actually a little bit experimental, yet at the still same time it features some of those ideas and can I say elements that were very much present in the Norwegian black metal renaissance early 1990s. Now, at the best parts of this album, it's so much reminding me of those good old days. Bands like Burzum, bands like Dark Throne are present, especially the second song has very Dark Throne-ish riff. It's almost like a kind of a pastiche, if you will. And at those moments, it's like, man, this album is gonna fly. This band is gonna leave its mark on the map. However, most of the time, it's not, unfortunately, not that great. The thing here is, there's a lot of room which is just there to be used, kind of like for filling the gaps. I mean, once you're reaching 7 minutes and you're like, okay, I kind of got the message after 3-4 minutes and nothing has since been really captivating, it starts to feel like the band kind of had some really great ideas and the rest is like, okay, we don't have enough material for some great 45 minutes. We have like good 20 minutes maybe. Let's start creating some filling riffs. And that's where the band, in my opinion, goes a little bit south. That is, it's not exactly bad at any point. I'm just saying that there are lots of ideas which are not that good, really. I like the kind of thin sound, which is kind of reminiscent of these 1990s, not exactly necro sound, but the kind of atmosphere that was very much present in those days when the budgets and studios were not that great. But it also makes me wonder why this is not on the level as the first album, which was a good one. Now, this is somewhere between the mediocre and the good. This is more like a decent attempt to kind of get this Norwegian feeling, but you only reach so far. Like, for example, I like the vocal parts. They are very much in the kind of a vein that they are somewhere between unique and typical, and they reach their height very well, except when they go towards more cleaner side. And it's more like, I don't know if these are actually needed to bring something different to the album. Also, same applies to the riffs. While some are just, like I said, great, some are more like, do these actually bring anything valuable to this album? And as such, I find a little bit disappointed with this one. I mean, it is certainly easy to listen and kind of to a certain extent enjoy. But after a few spins, I'm more like, this is not gonna do it. I think my initial listening experience were actually more pleasing when everything was just new and right around the corner. Okay, this kind of stuff. But then it became kind of clear to me that this is not in comparison to the first one. And as such, this is a minor disappointment. Would it have a disappointment if I had no expectations? I mean, if this was the first album, probably not so much. So I think people should give this one a chance, but just adjust your expectations a little more. So maybe for those who are just going in this band for the first time, this won't be like a disappointment as such. And it's an interesting band nevertheless, just because, the lineup is a little bit known, but it's not that big all-star band. And because this band actually has some let's say, different angle towards black metal. So, and it's an interesting one. It's a decent release for sure, just not among the best one this year. So here you have it, the Deathtrip. Go check out the samples and figure out for yourself. Thank you for your time. Take care.